Okay, so obviously I am driving to Florida, actually, to see my kids because I have not been able to reach them again. Jeff's holding all communication again, and I can't sit there and worry about my kids being okay or not. So I'm driving 13 hours now. 13 hours ago. But I just wanted to share a little bit of this because it's just eating away at my soul. And yeah, but so when Kaysen was like it was like really late 2022 or possibly early 2023. I think it was 2022. Whenever him and Caleb went to my mom's house for a weekend, in like a couple months prior to that, we had gone over like safety things, like if they were ever in a situation where they were in danger or something was wrong and they needed me to get them immediately, we had like little code words. And Kaysen came up with his, and it was shrimp. He would just say he was eating shrimp because he hates shrimp. And so if he ever told me he was eating shrimp, then that meant like, don't ask no questions, don't do nothing, like just go. And like he needs to be saved, basically. Like that's, because I was a really overprotective mom and very worried always about their safety, about something happening. I just was always worried. I still am always worried. So I'd always have like contingency plans and whatnot. But anyway, so they went to go to my mom's house. And I had kind of forgotten about the little code word thing. Like it just kind of slipped my mind. But Kaysen had called me and he was like, oh, I'm having fun. Me and Brad went to go get sushi. It was sushi, not shrimp. I'm sorry. It was sushi, was his code word. I don't know what shrimp was. But anyways, he was like, yeah, we're going to get sushi. And I didn't think about it at first because like it just didn't click. So I'm like, oh yeah, really? And then like we had hung up the phone, got the phone, and then it clicked. And I'm like, wait a minute. That was our code word. And I freaked out. And so I tried to call him back. He wouldn't answer. So I texted him. I'm like, are you okay? Are you okay? He's not answering his text, not answering the phone. So I freak out. And I called my mom. And I'm like, Mom, where is Kaysen? And she's like, he's out with Brad. They went to go pick up Whataburger. And I'm like, Whataburger? I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, I need you to get the kids right now and meet me. Because something is wrong. Kaysen called and gave me the code word. And that means pick him up, something's wrong. And she starts freaking out. They walk in the door as I'm on the phone with her, with Whataburger. And I'm like, just get the kids in the car and meet me halfway. I'll meet you halfway. It was like an hour and a half to her house. So I'm driving to meet them. And Kaysen is blowing up my phone, saying to hurry. He misses me so much. Please hurry. And I'm like, it just was freaking me out because I didn't understand like why what was going on. So I get there, meet my mom, and he literally gets out of the car and he hugs me so freaking tight. Like I just saved his life. It was like, I don't know, the hug was so freaking tight and so long, like he was terrified of whatever the hell was going on. And I kept asking him, I kept trying to talk to him on the way home, like, what happened? Why did you give the code word? And he kept saying, nothing is wrong, I just wanted to come home, nothing. And he just never said anything happened at all. But I had even texted Jeff's oldest daughter, and told her what was going on because I was panicking. So she knew about it. Kaysen never ever said anything happened. He just said he wanted to come home. But like I knew, like the way he was texting me the whole way to meet him, And then the hug that I got, like, he was so thankful that I picked him up and, like, saved his life is what that hug was like. But then, so I was, like, curious, so I got on his phone, and I was looking. He had been texting also Caleb on the way to meet me. And they were, like, arguing on the phone, texting, which they were in the same car, so that was weird, but in the same car, texting back and forth, talking crap to each other, being ugly. And then all of a sudden there was a message that said, from Caleb, it said, delete that shit right now. And there was a message obviously deleted, so I downloaded this thing and, like, recovered the missing text. And the missing text that he deleted was, you better stop or I'm gonna tell mom what you did. So I'm like, okay, so maybe Kaysen wasn't in danger. Maybe Caleb did something to Kaysen, which Caleb wanted to kill Kaysen all the time. Like, I would catch them, you know, he would have a knife to Kaysen, or he held a gun to his head one time. All kinds of stuff. So I was like, well, something happened, maybe, and Caleb, like, tried to hurt Kaysen, and Kaysen was always scared of Caleb. And so that's what I kind of chalked it up to. And then months later, they went to my mom's house again. Well, they'd been going there, you know, a few times on the weekends. But every time, that's when he would start coming back, peeing the bed every time. And that's when I'd asked him, hey, that's usually a sign that something's going on, blah, blah, blah. You want to tell me? And he wanted to tell me, but he didn't. He said yes, something did happen, or in the apartment, but he didn't want to talk about it in front of Caleb. He wanted to leave the apartment. So we got in my car and we drove around the parking lot of my apartment, and he was telling me, I mean, it for sure happened. Something, whatever happened, was with my mom. With my mom, Caleb, Brad, everybody was with them. But he never told me specifically what happened. He swore it was not the weekend that he called and gave me the code. It was a different time, he said. But then, like, he didn't want to name off anybody, and then finally, like, he did say Brad's name. But he first said, like, he was stumbling, like he didn't know, and I never knew if maybe he just said Brad's name because it happened with Brad and my mom, or, you know, I just didn't know. And he would never tell me. Whenever I finally did tell my mom about it, she would hound him, bug him, like, drive him crazy, and he would, like, come to me crying, saying that he wished he had never told me. He wished he never would have told me anything, and, like, he never would give me any more information about it. It was concerning for me because he'd already been there once and given me the code word to come get him, and then so a little while later, you know, they weren't allowed to go to my mom's house anymore because I just didn't know what happened, and so I just knew I needed to keep him safe, and that was the only way, because I couldn't press charges on Brad because he never told me for sure what happened, and I didn't know for sure, like, I didn't know for sure if it was Brad or if maybe he was just scared of Caleb, because they didn't have supervision at my mom's house at all. Like, they would stay upstairs, my mom and Brad would stay downstairs, and so, like, and Caleb often tried to kill Kaysen, often. And so, like, I didn't know if maybe he was just scared because Caleb was hurting him there. I didn't know. So all I knew was I just kept him home. But then it was like, after I'd already told my mom, it was like a month later after that, so we're talking like months and months later, Caleb and Kaysen both were hounding me to go to my mom's house. And I really wanted a break because I didn't have a break. They were with me 24/7 at that point. And so I was debating on it, but then I was like, you know what, no. And I'd set Kaysen down, or I was in their room, I'd sit down with them, and I'm like, look, I want you guys to be able to go to Meemaw's, I really do, and I know you want to go. And he was begging to go. But then I was like, but I can't let you go because I have to protect you and I don't know what happened. And it was the weirdest thing because he leaned forward and he hugged my neck so tight for so long, like he was telling me thank you. Like for some reason he wanted to look like he wanted to go, but when I said no, it was like this huge relief, and he just leaned forward and grabbed my neck so tight. And I didn't understand that because Caleb was the only one that was there with us that could hear him begging to go. So it was like he wanted Caleb to think that he wanted to go, but then he really didn't want to go. Like he hugged me so tight, like he was so thankful that I was saying no. And that was weird. But then right after that is when they went to Jeff's and he kidnapped them, essentially with the help of my mom and Brad. And then whenever I did tell Jeff about it, which I didn't even tell Jeff about it, I just said, ask Kaysen what happened. Ask him. All I said. He then had already been talked to by my mom and already like just thinking I'm making stuff up and whatever. He immediately spanked Kaysen's ass, grounded him, punished him. And not only that, for lying, he said he was lying, but not only that, but then rips all communication from me, hides my children, and then sends them back without my knowledge to my mom's house for the whole summer. And then I try to go see my kids at my mom's, and they literally criminally trespassed me, so I can't even get near the property. So my kids are somewhere where they were not deemed safe, and I can't even protect them, can't get to them, can't do anything. And I don't know what happened there. I don't know. But I never could get to the bottom of it. Everybody just wanted to deem me crazy and a liar. And now, if anything else has happened with my kids, who would they tell? They can't tell their dad because he will spank them and punish them. They can't tell my mom because it's happening at her house. My mom allowed me to get molested too, by the way. And I'm not sitting here saying for sure that Brad is anything, but I'm saying that when I was a child, she allowed me to be molested every day. Every day. When I told her about it, she never even blinked an eye, didn't even, nothing. So when I tell you that it is disgustingly heartbreaking to have everyone back my ex-husband and say, oh, I'm just crazy, I'm this, I'm that, and I shouldn't be able to protect my children, I shouldn't be able to know what they're doing, I shouldn't be able to have a say-so in them going there, it is disgusting. And he freely sends them there, like, cuts all communication off from me, blocks my number, and then only sends my kids to my mom's house. And still to say, like, I got in contact with them, I was talking to them every day again, finally, after months and months of not being able to know where they fucking were, how to get a hold of them, if they were okay. Finally get a lawyer, and I'm able to talk to them again daily. And then he cuts all that off. And now it's back to can't reach them. At least I know where they're at now. But it's disgusting. All of this is disgusting. I am not a bad mom. I am a great mom. I love my children. I've made some very bad decisions in my life. I'm not saying I haven't. I'm not perfect. But there is not one thing that I've ever done to put those kids in harm's way. In any way. Like, they've always been a priority. Even all the months that they've been missing, they were a priority. There was not a day that went by that I wasn't fighting to fucking get to them. And my ex-husband has done nothing but put my kids in danger. Take the one person out of their lives that was there for them, to protect them, to love them, to nurture them. Took me out and then sends them to the place that they're not safe at. Does anybody not comprehend how fucked up that is? just disgusted. But I'm headed to Florida, and I have a feeling that he is going to have them sent away, probably to my mom's, because I think he knows I'm coming. And that's disgusting, Jeff. That's disgusting. But regardless, I'm coming. If I have to quit my job and move here, then so be it. Because my kids are my life. They are number one, and they have not been protected in any way, shape, or form by him. In any way, shape, or form. Like I said, who are they going to tell if something happens to them anymore? So if anything else has happened, no one would know, because they would be too fucking scared to say something and get punished and get beaten for it. That's disgusting. And like I said, I don't know, and I honestly don't. I love Brad. I do. I love Brad. All I know is what I've got to go on, but before they left, like, I definitely felt like something else was happening, and I love Brad, and I don't see him as a bad person. I don't. But I know that something at my mom's house was not right. And my son was very much showing me with his actions. I mean, it's just disgusting. And I am so tired of not being able to protect my children and to know anything about them. Like, it's disgusting, and I am done with it. I mean, Joyce, Jeff's mother, her ex-husband molested all of her kids except for Jeff, and she left him, divorced him, and protected them. But then she gives me a hard time and says that I'm lying and making it up too about my son. What a hypocritical bitch you are, Joyce. What a hypocritical bitch. Because all I've done was try to protect my children, and you have assisted and aided your son in doing the opposite. Don't you have any compassion? Your children were molested, and you did what you had to do. My children, something happened, and you ripped away any protection they had and villainized them. I'm done with it, and I am done. I am fighting with everything I have in me. I am very sober, been sober, and will remain sober, and I will remain fighting and doing every single thing that I can to protect my kids. I was so broken by all of this that it was impossible to fucking breathe most of the time. But I am fighting, and I'm pushing through, and shame on you. Shame on everyone who assisted on keeping me from my kids and treating me as a villain. Shame on you.